Hi all, how you doing? Hope you're doing great wherever you are in the world. All right, so somebody, one of my subscribers asked me to take a look at Bitnest. Okay, I've never heard of it. Okay, but apparently it's getting quite big and it's been going on for more than a year. All right, so a lot of people are thinking, well, if it's been going on a year, it must be a pretty solid project. Okay, so first thing I'm going to say straight away, I don't believe it is. I don't believe this is a legit project. I believe this is a Ponzi scheme, and I'm going to tell you the reasons why I believe that. So this website, I'm not going to go through it all, all of this content and stuff like that, because I don't see the point. I don't see the point in looking at the white paper and that kind of thing. And there's no need. All we need to look at is really what are the figures in and what are the figures out. How much are you getting, basically? And once you look at those, you'll see that realistically, it's not realistic. Okay, it's not possible to maintain the figures that they are suggesting. Okay, so there's kind of different ways you can invest, apparently. There's these loops and stuff like that, and saving boxes and things like that. So what they do is they give you different things to make it look kind of interesting, to make it look like a sort of proper financial kind of product that you might get from a bank. But this is like a DeFi. Okay, so they're sort of saying this is DeFi and this is run on smart contracts. And so that's what they're doing. They're kind of blinding you with science. Okay, so it's not really that scientific, smart contracts. I mean, smart contracts are definitely the future. Okay, and they're definitely a positive way of saving money and that kind of thing. But the bottom line is, even if you use smart contracts and even if you use DeFi, you can't make these gains on a permanent basis. In other words, you can't maintain these unrealistic gains. All right. So what are they promising you? So they talk about these bit loops and stuff. So they say here the smart contract automatically returns 100.4% of the investment after day one. So in other words, if you put $100 in, you'll get $100.4 back the next day. Okay. Um, it doesn't really sort of say what exactly they're investing in. Well, I suppose if you read all the documentation, it'll probably say pools and loans and things like that. Okay. But if you look at, let's look at the 28 day. 28 day is 24%. Okay. So basically, if you put it in for longer, you'll get a bigger amount back. Okay. So it's more than 0.4%. So one day is 0.4%, but clearly you're getting 24% back after 28 days. So that's getting closer to 1% per day. All right. 1% a day. That is huge. That is absolutely massive. And to me, that is unsustainable. This project sort of gives me vibes of stable fund project. And when I was covering the stable fund project, so many people said, "John, you're talking rubbish. These guys are investing it. They're doing it. Okay, they're earning 1% a day." And then it all went tits up basically, and everybody lost the money. And it was like people lost about $100 million altogether, or something like that. So this to me has the same kind of vibe as stable fund. Um, I will have a look at if you go to the compound interest calculator. I mean, this basically, hopefully, this is the sort of thing that should make you wake up and think this is utterly ridiculous. So you can go to this yourself, the calculatorsite.com. Just type in compound interest calculator into Google and you'll get this. So let's do it from scratch. So let's say you put in $1,000, okay? Now, the interest rate is 24% and it's every month. So, in other words, you're going to get 24% back off your money at the end of these 28 days. So, roughly speaking, that's per month. Okay. Compound frequency. So, what we're going to do then, we're going to we're going to put £1,000 in. And at the end of that 28-day period, we're going to take it out and then we're going to sort of leave it for a day or two effectively. So every month, so if we started in January, January the 1st, we'd get up to January the 28th, we'd get $1,240 back, okay? And then we'd wait until February and put it in again. Okay, we put all of that amount back in. So instead of putting $1,000 in February, we're now putting $1,240, and then we're getting interest on the $1,240. All right. So if we did that for say 2 years, so just going to get 2 years for figures, we're not going to add anything else. That's all we're going to do. All right. And then we calculate. Okay. So we put our $1,000 in here. At the end of sort of month one, we get 1,240 back. And now you can see here, it's not a double up amount. All right. It's not like 1,480. After the second month, we're now getting 1,537. Okay. So this is the power of compound interest. We're getting more back each month and then putting that back in. All right. And at the end of 12 months, we would get $13,214. Okay, so if we compounded it every single month, we start off with $1,000, we'd end up with 13,000 after year one. Um, and then let's say we did it for 2 years. Look how much it goes up now. So you start with 13,000 after year one, and then you end up with 174,000. So after 2 years, your money's gone from $1,000 to $174,000. Okay, that is ridiculous. Okay, um, it's mind-boggling. I mean, compound interest is great, but this is just unrealistic. All right, you just cannot. You're not going to get this. All right, it's unrealistic. Um, let's say you did it daily. Let's have a look. Daily, but you got 0.4%. 0.4. Okay. Compounded daily. 2 years. Let's have a look. Okay, so obviously you get a lower figure now because the compound interest. So if you did it daily, so you took out you put $1,000 in, okay, and then after month one, you'd end up with 1,129 if you did it daily. Okay. So you'd end up with $18,000 after 2 years. Okay. So that's as if you took it out every single day, right, and put it back in the next day, basically. So again, ridiculous. Um, you got to think like the biggest Ponzi, um, and I always forget the guy's name, but basically the biggest Ponzi was only doing 1% per month. Okay. And that was a Ponzi scheme that couldn't be maintained. And that was 1% per month. This is offering miles more than that. Okay. It's offering 24%. It's offering 24 times the amount. Okay. So one of the biggest Ponzi's in the world, okay, which went down after like 20 years, was offering 1% per month. This is offering 24%. It's just simply not sustainable. Okay. If if we could all do this, it would be great. All right. We could beat inflation. Okay. So inflation's running at like, well, let's say for argument's sake, it's running at 10% a year. So if you got 2% every month, you'd be beating inflation. All right. So here you're absolutely destroying inflation at getting 24% a month. So at some point, what I'm basically trying to tell you guys is that this is all going to collapse. It's not going to be able to pay you back, okay? Because the figures are too great. How can you all put $1,000 in and get 274,000 back, or whatever the figure suggested? Let's just do it again. 1,000. Okay, interest rate 24%. Monthly, 2 years. Okay, calculate. So I'll put 10,000 in that time. So 10,000, you put 10,000 in. Year one, you've got 132,000 back. Yeah. So if you started this off now, okay, and then you started off with all your friends and stuff, you put 10,000 in, you're getting 132,000. At some point, this thing's going to break. Okay, it can't pay you back all of this. All right. Now, what it might be able to do is pay you back digitally, i.e., you can see your money on printed out on the screen. Okay, so if you never claim it and you keep, you know, you get greedy and you keep shoving it back in, and if nobody actually claims, then obviously they can keep this process going. Okay, the people behind it can keep the process going all the time. Um, because if people are greedy and keep shoving it back in, which many people will, a lot of people say, well, look, this is my profits. I put this much in and I've got this much profit. But the thing is, they haven't actually taken it any out. A lot of these people, they reinvest their profits back in. And therefore, it's just numbers on a screen. Okay. And they can put it in your back end that you've got this amount of money. This is what you're entitled to. Okay. But the reality is they might not have that. Okay, because if everyone suddenly takes it all out, okay, they're not going to be able to pay it out. Okay, it's impossible. And that's what a Ponzi needs. They need fresh blood. And the fresh blood comes from um, signing new people up. In Bitnest, your share rewards come from your partners. A unique personal link is created by you when you register. When someone clicks and signs up, they are tied to you forever as a downline partner. Okay, all individual partners you invite will permanently assign to you and cannot be changed as they are recorded in a smart contract. So this is another thing which helps grow this. Um, it's like a pyramid, so it's like a Ponzi and a pyramid scheme, okay, together. They get people to they get like YouTubers in who promote this, who've got plenty of subscribers who are going to put their money into this, and um, and YouTubers want to promote this as well because apart from me, obviously. Because I'm not going to promote a Ponzi scheme knowingly, all right? Because Ponzi schemes are, well, they're illegal basically, for one thing. They're illegal in most countries, for one thing. And the other thing is about Ponzi schemes, you don't know who this money's going to a lot of the time. You don't know who these people are behind a lot of these things. A lot of these are like paid actors from Fiverr and stuff like that. I've seen them. I've seen them already. There's lots of paid people from Fiverr where they say they're this person and they're just actors, right? From Fiverr where they give them like $50 or $100 to say whatever it is they want them to say. Um, so here, in sharing commission rules. In the BitLoop smart contract, every participant can become a project initiator. Invite new users to join and get sharing rewards. So obviously, you get other people in and you'll get rewarded. So it's in your interest to get other people, your friends and family in this. All right. Again, this is the really bad thing about Ponzi schemes is when these things go tits up, okay, um, family and friends lose out, okay, and they'll be onto you, okay, they'll be personally. Hey, you told me to invest in this. You said it was secure. You said it was a good investment. Okay. And I believe you because your family and all of that kind of thing. This is the sort of thing that breaks up families. So users themselves earn an additional generational share reward for every 100 USDT in circulation. You'll be able to earn up to 17 levels of sharing. When you circulate 100 USD yourself, you'll receive 20% of the proceeds of each circulation of one generation of friends. When you circulate 200 USD yourself, you'll receive 10% of the proceeds of each circulation of your two generation friends, and so on and so on. Okay, so basically they're just building up it's like a pyramid scheme now, getting all these people underneath you. Um, so I don't need to go through this website and see all of this. This is all just fluff. It's all meaningless. Okay, the bottom line is there's no way that they can be generating this level because let's face it, guys, think about this, okay? Think about this sensibly. if they can put $1,000 in, right? Or let's say if they can put $10,000 in and then do enough financially to pay you back 132,000, they can just do it for themselves. Okay. I mean, if they're certain they can do this, right? They can take $10,000 and get 24% back every single month. Now, let's have a look. Let's say they did this for 10 years. Let's have a look at how much they could make. Oh, look. Future investment value. Look at this. Look at this figure. Okay. So that's 100,000. That's 559 million. And this is 60 billion. And this is 624 trillion. Okay. This is 1,624 trillion dollars after 10 years. Okay. So if they just kept on compounding it, so you started off with 10,000, they would end up with 1624 trillion dollars, right? So it's impossible. It's impossible. It's all the money in the world and more. Although money is a Ponzi scheme anyway. All right. Um, so if you still think this isn't a Ponzi, then I don't know what to say to you. I mean, it's ludicrous. It's completely Looney Tunes. All right, absolutely crazy. So personally speaking, don't invest in this because for two reasons. One, this could crash anytime soon. People start drawing the money out, this can crash very quickly and you just lose all your money. They won't be able to pay you back. And the second big reason is you don't know what these funds are going to. Okay, so they could be funding drugs, child trafficking, prostitution, okay, all sorts of nefarious things. All right. You don't know what these people who these people are and what kind of things they can be funding. Of course, they could just be a couple of individuals who are just going to go out and buy a Ferrari or the Lambo or whatever. All right. But it could be much worse than that. But the bottom line is, guys, from a personal point of view, the likelihood is this is all going to go tits up at some point and everyone's going to lose the money that's invested. Okay. So even if you get out and say, oh, well, I made some money on this, you'll be one of the few. Okay. So there we have it. Bitnest is a Ponzi scheme. Don't forget to like and share the video because you don't want people investing in this. What we want people to invest in is proper projects like Bitcoin. Okay. Bitcoin is a proper, legit, I won't call it a project, but if you want to call it a project, then so be it. But invest in something like Bitcoin, okay? Not this. All right, not this.